Ukraine has a new tank killer thanks to France, but they're not using it the way you might think. Ukraine has been putting the French-supplied AMX-10RC armored vehicles through their paces, repurposing these decades-old light tanks in ways that would make their designers either really proud or slightly perplexed. Hey friends, Wes here, multi-branch veteran and caretaker of an absolutely horrible French accent. As if the French needed another reason to hate smug American veterans. Let us begin. Originally intended for reconnaissance and fire support, these vehicles have found a second life as self-propelled artillery. Turns out they're not just one-trick ponies. In a bold move to boost Ukraine's fight against Russian forces, last year France shipped over 3 dozen AMX-10RCs alongside 2.6 billion euros in a menu of military goodies, from artillery systems to training nearly 10,000 Ukrainian troops. The French are doing their part to ensure Ukraine can punch above its weight in this David versus Goliath showdown. France's military task force hasn't just been handing over the keys to shiny equipment. They've been putting Ukrainian soldiers through a crash course on tactics and tech. A newly trained brigade, aptly named Anne of Kiev, after a Ukrainian princess turned French queen.
Hey guys, Wes here from the future. I'm in the editing room right now, and we have some new information on the Anne of Kiev Brigade that I didn't have when I filmed the actual video. In December of 2024, the 155th Mechanized, which is the Anne of Kiev, was deployed south of Pokrovsk, backed by a $900 billion joint military effort by Presidents Zelensky and Macron. Sounds impressive, right? Unfortunately, the brigade's story takes a dark turn. Ukrainian journalist Yuri Budasov dropped some bombshells on his YouTube channel, reporting that over 1,000 troops went AWOL after being forcibly mobilized. Yes, like off the streets. So this forced a command shakeup in mid-December, right around December 12th. Then came the more shocking news. Ukrainian State Bureau of Investigation launched a criminal probe into the brigade. According to Budasov, 1,700 soldiers deserted before the unit even saw combat. So this is just a brutal reminder that war isn't just about strategy and firepower and technology, it's about people. Ukraine's fight for freedom is heroic, and issues like this highlight the immense challenges faced by a military trying to scale up amid constant pressure. Okay, as always, I'll keep you updated, stay informed, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Back to our little French tank, huh?
But what is an AMX-10RC anyway? Well, labeling the AMX-10RC as a light tank is generous, but let's break it down. Designed in the late 1970s, this 18-ton wheeled vehicle boasts a 105mm cannon, powerful enough to send shivers down a tank's spine at close range, plus 2 7.62mm machine guns for good measure. It zips along paved roads at 53 miles per hour, but waddles to 20 miles per hour when off-road. Track tanks will definitely win in a mud wrestling contest. The upgraded AMX-10RCR variant adds some modern bells and whistles, ceramic armor, thermal sights, and a nifty smoke grenade launcher. It can carry 4 crew members who work in harmony to manage its firepower and maneuvers. Bonus points if the loader keeps the rate of fire humming at 12 rounds per minute. Unlike its amphibious sibling, the AMX-10P, the AMX-10RC doesn't do water ballet. Instead, it's built to thrive in hostile environments, scouting enemy positions, and providing fire support. Developed by Nextar Systems, the same folks who brought us the formidable Leclerc tank and the Caesar howitzer, the AMX-10RC offers solid mobility, decent firepower, and armor that's a little on the weak side. Okay against small arms fire, but not much more. Think of it as a scrappy underdog rather than a heavyweight champion. And then there's the pièce de résistance, the hydro-pneumatic suspension system. This bit of engineering allows the vehicle to raise or lower its chassis, making it less visible on the battlefield, or just letting it live its best lowrider dreams. Combine that with a 360-degree turret rotation, and you've got a reconnaissance vehicle that's light on its wheels but heavy on versatility. The AMX-10RC weighs in around 16 tons, powered by a 280 horsepower diesel engine. Armament-wise, it packs that F2BK Mecha L47 gun capable of firing modern sub-caliber rounds that can punch through 350 millimeters of armor at over 7,000 feet. Backing up the main gun are the two 7.62 millimeter machine guns with 4,000 rounds, plus smoke dischargers to make a quick getaway when things get a little too spicy. And let's not forget the optional extras: improved thermal imaging sights, steel armor upgrades, which are sorely needed, and an IED protection package that pushes its weight to 22 tons. Oh, and it can still swim, though some heavily armored variants might prefer staying dry. Ukraine did have some early struggles with these vehicles. They're not exactly invincible. When these armored vehicles first rolled into Ukraine, they quickly met reality head-on. Ukrainian forces learned the hard way that the AMX-10RC wasn't cut out for direct confrontations in intense battle zones. Let's rewind to January of last year when France first gifted 40 of these so-called sniper rifles on wheels to the Ukrainians. Well, the Ukrainians at the time seemed thrilled. Former Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov even gushed about their speed, optics, and punchy 155mm main gun. And to be fair, the AMX-10RC is a marvel of battlefield mobility, even with a diesel engine that sips fuel like a European on espresso. It's pretty nimble. But here's the rub. The AMX-10RC wasn't designed to take a hit. Its thin aluminum hull provides all the protection of a soda can, which is why it's meant to strike fast, provoke a response, and get the heck out of Dodge. Unfortunately, Ukrainian Marines in the 37th Brigade didn't get that memo. In early June of last year, in a high-stakes assault on Russian positions, the Marines put their AMX-10RCs at the head of the charge, an honor that should have been reserved for their T-80 tanks or their Abrams or their Bradleys. Predictably, Russian forces shredded several of the French vehicles, capturing one for good measure. Tragically, some Ukrainian crews paid with their lives. This aftermath wasn't pretty, but to their credit, the Marines adapted. By mid-June, the AMX-10RCs were no longer playing wannabe tanks. Instead, they hung back, leading fire support from a safe distance. Videos from September show these vehicles calmly popping shots in open fields, miles from the action, like a sharpshooter at a picnic. And here's where it gets interesting. The AMX-10RC's day-night optics and reliable main gun make it a force to be reckoned with in this role. It's accurate up to a mile in direct fire, and with some tablet-based software wizardry, it can lob shells up to 4.5 miles away. Sure, the further the shot, the more it's like throwing darts blindfolded, but it's a capability the Marines seem to value. But Ukrainian ingenuity is nothing if not adaptive. Instead of using the AMX-10RC for frontline assaults, they've embraced its mobility, turning it into a self-propelled artillery piece. By striking from a safe distance, these repurposed vehicles became a thorn in the side of Russian positions. And now, Ukraine wants to buy more. The Ukrainians have learned to respect the AMX-10RC's strengths and limitations. A recent segment on Ukraine's Army TV showcased these vehicles in their new role. During filming, a Russian drone decided to crash the party. Thankfully, both the crew and the AMX-10RC shrugged off the attack, demonstrating its resilience, or maybe just good luck. The footage highlighted the vehicle's capabilities, particularly its flexibility in supporting infantry and targeting enemies from afar. Ukraine's partnership with France extends far beyond the hardware. French instructors have trained over 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers, transforming raw recruits into battle-ready fighters. As one French colonel put it, quote, "They have improved a lot. Now they are able to fight, maneuver, and use specialists effectively on the battlefield," end quote. The newly trained Anne of Kiev Brigade isn't just symbolic. It's a testament to the enduring ties between these two nations. Armed with French-supplied gear and tactical know-how, these troops are poised to make a significant impact on the battlefield. The AMX-10RC may not have the brute force of a modern main battle tank, but its adaptability proves that even a vehicle from the 1970s can find relevance in today's high-tech warfare. In the hands of Ukraine's resourceful forces, these French imports are doing what they do best: scouting, supporting, and surviving. This also speaks again to Ukraine's ingenuity on the battlefield. They used a vehicle in the way it was intended, quickly figured out that it was not suitable for that purpose, and then redesigned their tactics to get the full use out of these little French buggers. That's why I affectionately call Ukraine the MacGyver Army. So while the AMX-10RC may not be the hero Ukraine wanted, it's certainly proving to be the hero they need. That's it for today, friends. Subscribe if you're not already, because we're quickly closing in on 50K. If you like this type of content and you want more of it in your feed, subscribing really helps the channel grow and ensures that you don't miss out on future military tech videos. And as always, vive la France! Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Slava Ukraini.